Have you ever noticed small greyish cocoons hanging on your walls or ceilings? These mysterious little cases are often the work of the plaster bagworm, also known as the household casebearer. Despite their harmless look, these insects can become a persistent nuisance indoors. Plaster bagworms belong to the family Psychidae, a group of moths known for their case-making larvae. They are close relatives of the clothes moth and are commonly found in warm, humid climates. So, their name, plaster bagworm, actually comes from their habit of attaching themselves to plaster walls inside homes. The most recognizable feature of the plaster bagworm is, definitely, its portable silken case. This case is shaped like a small, elongated bag, usually about 1 to 2 centimeters long. It's made from silk and covered with dust, sand particles, lint, and bits of spider webs, which gives it that rough, greyish appearance. Inside the case lives the larva, which hides and feeds while staying protected. The larva can move around by poking out its head and legs from one end of the case. And you know, when it feels threatened, it just retreats inside, sealing itself in for safety. Plaster bagworms are commonly found indoors, especially on walls, ceilings, and closets. They thrive in dark and undisturbed places. You might also see them dangling from ceilings or attached to curtains and furniture. These insects are most active in tropical and subtropical regions. Countries with warm and humid weather, such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and parts of the southern United States, often report infestations. They prefer environments where humidity is high and airflow is limited. So, plaster bagworms feed mainly on things like spiderwebs, lint, human hair, and wool fibers. They can also consume silk, dead insects, and, other organic debris. This kind of diet actually makes them recyclers of household waste, but at the same time, they're also potential pests for natural fabrics. Because they feed on wool and silk, plaster bagworms can damage clothing, carpets, and drapes. They're especially attracted to items that have been stored for long periods, which, honestly, can be a bit of a problem. Homeowners often confuse them with clothes moths, mainly because of their similar feeding habits. So, the life cycle of the plaster bagworm consists of 4 main stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult moth. The larval stage, by the way, is the longest and most destructive. During this time, the insect actually stays inside its case, feeding and growing for several months. When the larva matures, it attaches its case really firmly to a surface and then transforms into a pupa. This stage can last several weeks. So once metamorphosis is complete, a small grey moth emerges from the case. Adult plaster bagworm moths are, small and delicate. Males are winged and capable of flight, while females often remain wingless or have, reduced wings. The adults do not feed and live only long enough to mate and lay eggs. Females lay their eggs inside protected areas or near ceilings, where, humidity is ideal for hatching. Each female can produce dozens of eggs. Once the larvae hatch, they begin spinning their first small silk cases immediately. A plaster bagworm infestation indoors is often a sign of poor ventilation or high humidity. Homes with air conditioning rarely experience serious infestations. However, in areas with natural airflow and moisture buildup, these insects can spread quickly. So, although they don't pose direct health risks, plaster bagworms can definitely be an eyesore. Their grey cases on white walls and ceilings, well, they can really make a home appear unclean. Over time, their presence can actually lead to damage in stored textiles. Controlling plaster bagworms, starts with good household hygiene. Regular dusting, vacuuming, and cleaning of corners can really help reduce their food sources. Removing spider webs is especially important, as these provide their primary diet. Humidity control plays a key role in preventing infestations. Using dehumidifiers or improving ventilation, really discourages them from thriving. Keeping your home dry and cool can honestly make it less attractive to these insects. If infestation levels become high, it's advisable to remove cases manually. They can be easily brushed or vacuumed off surfaces. For larger infestations, pest control professionals can help identify and treat breeding areas. Plaster bagworms are more common in older homes or buildings with textured plaster walls. Their cases stick more easily to rough surfaces. Modern painted walls or smooth ceilings are, just less ideal for them to attach to. Interestingly, plaster bagworms are considered ecological cleaners in nature. Outdoors, they feed on old spider webs and organic debris, contributing to the natural decomposition process. Their indoor presence, however, turns this helpful behavior into a nuisance. So researchers have found that plaster bagworms are quite sensitive to light and temperature. They tend to prefer those dark corners and shaded areas, This behavior, it explains why they're often spotted behind furniture or inside closets. Makes sense, right? Unlike termites or cockroaches, plaster bagworms don't spread diseases. They don't bite, sting, or contaminate food. It's a bit of a relief, isn't it? So their main issue is really about the aesthetic and fabric-related damage they can cause. To prevent them, homeowners should definitely store clothes and fabrics in airtight containers. And, regularly cleaning air vents, removing cobwebs and sealing cracks can really help minimize their hiding spots. Prevention is far easier than full-scale elimination. Some people, honestly, mistake their cases for dried larvae or just dust particles. However, with a closer look, you'll see their characteristic spindle-shaped bag with small openings on both ends. Observing movement confirms that a living larva is inside. Despite their tiny size, plaster bagworms demonstrate fascinating survival behavior. Their self-made cases are engineering marvels of silk and debris, offering camouflage and protection. Insects like these remind us of nature's creativity, even in our own homes. In summary, the plaster bagworm, or household casebearer, is both a pest and a natural recycler. Understanding its behavior, life cycle, and environment helps us manage infestations effectively. With good cleaning habits and humidity control, you can keep these tiny architects from taking over your home.